YouTube. All right, greetings from out here in the wasteland outside of Survival Pod. This is Freedom Film. What's the topic right now? You know, I gotta be real about it. All these people saying if you deport all the illegals, who's gonna build the houses? Well, Democrats, who's gonna pick the cotton? It's the same statement if you think about it. But have you ever thought about the mechanics of why somebody who's here illegally can afford to work at those wages? And what could we do to actually incentivize Americans to build houses again? Because it wasn't like we didn't build our houses back in the 50s and 60s and 70s. Just saying. Where I'm going with this is Freedom Phil. Like, subscribe. Let's get into it, and always turn up the video speed. And why do I say that? Because if you're watching videos at regular speed, what are you doing to yourself? The channel's name is literally what you need to do. So when I upload this, watch it at 1.75. Like, subscribe. Let's get into it. So I was watching this little video involved this woman questioning Vance, and Private Vice President Vance was like, answered the question. He says, well, it's not like we didn't used to do this. But the difference in now and then was, back in the day, there was some respect for a man who actually did a real job and did real things, build houses. And that's way back in the day, because by, I'd say, somewhere in the 70s and 80s, if you didn't go to college, you were considered just to be a friggin' idiot. Ironic how many plumbers, electricians, and carpenters, HVAC guys, concrete guys, actually have quite successful businesses and are doing quite well, despite everything, the propaganda you were told your whole life. And this is a lot of things where people will look at the world and say, if you're not this, you're going to be this. And then collectively, because everybody hears the same statement coming out of the media, they all just kind of go along with it. But like the example I could use in my own life, and they're like, well, that's anecdotal. Well, yeah, well, some real life examples are real life examples. My relative of mine, his son and him, they're building his son's house down San Diego. And guess what? Because they're both, one's master at doing, cabinetry and all sorts of carpentry, and the other one can build a house from the dirt to the sky. Okay? Yeah, like from below the dirt, he could do the subfloor and all that. He could literally do all of it, all the way to the finish point if he wanted to. They're saving hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're avoiding a bunch of nonsense. Like some guy came along and says, oh, to build this, weld these A-frame thing together for this structural piece, it's going to cost $69,000. And they did it. They bought a welder and did it for $14,000. That is the power of a carpenter. That, you can basically do what other people charge premium prices for. But we don't have any respect for that anymore. And we're just starting to get maybe we're getting a little more respect for it, because it turns out a lot of people that went to college, and they say something like over 90% of women's degrees were fucking worthless. And I don't say that to be mean or cruel. It's just, you're working a job, but are you really doing anything that truly matters? Or are you even really paying your bills doing this? And then it's not much better for the guys. I'd say at least half of the degrees men get are completely useless. So what do you do with this large segment of America that are effectively, and by the way, you should be angry at the people who told you to go to college, because they groomed you. They quite literally groomed you. And if you don't believe that they groomed you, what was the propaganda when you were a kid? What was the news saying regularly? You have to have a college degree. College degrees pay this much more. Blah, 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 blah. Doesn't matter what degree. Any degree is a good degree. Follow your heart and the money will follow. We were told this stuff all through our youth. No different than a religion, a pseudo-religion. For all the people that have complained about the military-industrial complex, and I agree that there's some ridiculous things going on, the university-industrial complex has probably screwed you more. So what I'm getting at with this, and I know this topic really pisses a lot of people off, because, they're like, no, I'm so smart. Well, if you're so smart, why is a guy that's swinging a hammer functionally more useful to the world and capable of actually improving his life and his community's life? If you make a Voltron out of a bunch of carpenters, you got all of them know how to do framing, all of them know how to do roofing, and all of them, have their own trades. Like, this guy's a plumber, this guy's an electrician, this guy's an HVAC guy. This guy, you got one of them's a trucker as well, so they can save on delivering the products. Like they go out and they get the deal. Like the guy's coming back and he does a backhaul full of bricks, so they can do the patio in the back. They can straight up build a house. They can pull a modern Amish. The fuck can you do if you're bullshit degree? Now, some of you have real degrees. Don't get me wrong. Some guys, well, I'm actually an engineer and I'm helping building a new polymer that'll build a better bridge or a lighter, faster car. Yeah, love you. I love you. The people that are making real things, real improvements, like we're taking this weird substance, this weird plant we can squeeze oil out of it. Love those people. But that is what percentage of your college educated people? What percentage? Oh, maybe 5. I'm being very generous with that 5, but I'll be even more generous. I'll say 10% of the degrees coming out of universities are actually fucking like the true things we need. The rest of a lot of it is just make busy work jobs. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against therapists, but before we had therapists, we just had sensical shit that does not actually make your day better. And that is why even though it's fucked up, I do agree, if that guy that has to haul that marble into your damn house charges you a pretty penny for that, it ain't a penny, let me tell you that much, you deserve to pay that much. Because frankly, you were the reason, not you personally, people of my generation, the parents, the grandparents, and everybody, you people were the reason that a lot of people didn't learn how to do that themselves. And if there were more people out there doing it, maybe that granite guy would be a little more affordable. Just like the windows guy, just like the roofing guy. And by the way, a lot of those industries I've just described, they have competition. But when you make it to where plumbers and electricians and the most essential people for keeping a house going are becoming like the forgotten manna, it's going to be an old reference for a lot of you. The anime Outlaw Star, how all the caster magic was literally the old mana magic. It's like old magic. Mana was disappearing. That's the way the tradesmen are. They are like a forgotten miracle. So how could we fix this? Because I said I was going to talk about that. You got people that are horribly in debt for university degrees and all that. They can't afford to take a job and be making starter wages in the very beginning. But wait a minute, what if, and this saying if you're single or you got a really loving family, what if there was affordable bachelorette apartments for tradesmen? Like we started treating it the same way we do with the military. We start getting people out there and the tradesmen have a cheap place to live, ridiculously cheap, just like barracks. Well, they won't want to do that. Okay, if you don't want to fucking have success, go ahead, fuck up your life. But if you were given the option of, hey, here's a way out of this hole. And by the way, we're going to stop giving you welfare as well. What do you mean stop giving welfare? I literally mean that. Stop giving welfare. There's a lot of guys I know that faked crazy back where I grew up. They're the sanest motherfuckers you ever. One of the guys was one of the sanest people the smartest individuals I've ever met. And he's like, well, the only thing stopping me from taking this money is whether I care about what other people think, and I don't. If I care about what those people think, what are they really doing to make my life any better? That money makes my life better today. So an opportunist that my buddy was, he took the money. Me, I went out and started trucking, driving across the country and all that stuff. I made good money as a trucker. But logically, am I going to look at that guy and say, oh, you're such a horrible person for taking what people are offering you? But imagine they didn't offer that guy that. Imagine they made an affordable deal where it's like, hey, man, we got this plumbing school, we got this trade school, we could teach you all these things, and the housing is basically free. We'll even do a match thing on your investment. If you put in this much, we'll put in that much. You would see more people going that direction. If it seemed like a way you could get out of debt, out of poverty, out of all these things, you would see more people doing it. And for the people that don't want to do it, okay, but we're just not going to help. If you don't want to do something that works, you're fine. We're fine with letting you fail, but we're not going to save you from your stupid decisions. And that is a lot of the problem. They say, why won't Americans do it? It's because we save Americans, that people that would have otherwise swung a hammer, women that would have learned to be a nurse, women that would have learned how to do a lot of things. Like, I don't know if you know this. Let me tell you a big dirty secret about the cleaning industry. It pays really well. I got a relative who has cabins, and these cabins sleep about 20 people. It's got the pool table, the hot tub. It's a very ritzy place. It costs, I think, something like $400 or more to get that place cleaned. And it takes 2 women to do it. Now, mind you, the lady that I know that owns all these places, she could do it herself. Back in the day when she did the cleanings, 1 woman, 4 hours, Done. That's the power of determination and owning your own shit. Being like, I'd rather have that $400 for my business. You know, there's real money in a lot of businesses out there. But we have literally taken a lot of our American capital, our talent, and we just pissed it away. We're like, well, this could be a miracle here, but we'll just pour it into the river and watch it go away. So when you say, who's going to do these jobs? Well, maybe, wild thought here, if you made affordable living, just treat it like the military. You got your barracks. We made it affordable for people to actually be these things. Then when they were moving up, getting the training, we really need to start when kids are in middle school. Middle school? Yeah, you should be introduced to being a plumber, electrician, and all that. There should be introductory stuff. You should even put this shit in video games. Oh, that's wild, man. Put it in video games. Yeah. You know, have an equation, have something in there, have a loot box. And you got to open it by answering some questions. Take a quick test. You'd be surprised how many people remember shit. Hey, let me ask you something. How many of you remember Final Fantasy VI, the combination to the clock? I still remember it to this very day. Be surprised how much shit you remember from back in the day if it was fun. You got to get these kids out there. They got to start understanding these things when they're young. And then when they're in high school, you could have kids at 16 years old that are ready to rock and roll. And then even in some of these cities where rent is unaffordable, you make the I don't want to say union, but you make the tradesman bachelorette buildings. You know? And then basically you've got a situation where there is affordable living in the cities, so these people can make a wage, and then they save up their money, and maybe they go across into the Midwest, maybe go to Texas, maybe they go to the Rocky Mountain states, maybe go to the Northwest to decide to settle down. But in the affordable years, when you need those people to be working at an affordable rate, and I'd say what it takes to live in these cities, that's unaffordable. I was listening to the radio, and there's one of those real estate infomercials on. I was cleaning the freezer out. That's 10 pounds of chicken in there, by the way. It's I'm cleaning that out. Let's go with this. And they were talking about, well, you can find houses around here for $400,000. I'm like, $400,000 for a box to sleep and take a dump in? You could shower. Oh, Jesus. Do you want to understand why I like being a trucker or van life? Because all that money you guys piss away, I can literally take that same amount of money and invest it and have it making me money. You pay compound interest will pay me. Do you understand that? I'm not a bad man for telling you the fucking truth here. Do I need to do the Joker voice? All I'm saying is that the idea that you think that $400,000 is an affordable house, that's insane. Now, what would happen if we had more people to build more houses? And as a closing thought, not only all the illegals getting out of our Section 8, getting out of the apartments, getting out of the trailer parks. Yes, time to go home. You need to be repatriated. You need to save your country. You got all those skills, you need to build up your country. But what if we could build more houses? And what about these old people? You got an old couple living in a 3-4 bedroom house. They don't use most of it. It's collecting dust. Shit, man. If you really cared about the next generation, you buy a smaller place and either rent or sell your place to either your kids or somebody else. I'll never do that. Yeah. Well, enjoy your tombs. It's like the Pharaoh with their pyramid. It's a nice place. Enjoy your tomb. Because that's all it is eventually. The housing crisis has got a lot of different things we could do to solve it. But I think the first thing is if you want the trades to become great again, we need to start promoting the trades, and we need to make affordable housing for people in the trades. Because we could save some of the people that made mistakes, but it'd be better if we save the people that ain't fucked up yet. I don't know if you've seen how much they're charging for doing electrician's work and plumbing and all those other things. I mean, hell, even framing. All of it. It ain't free. And even if the rate went down a bit because we had more people out there working, well, here's a wild thought. Wouldn't it be great if a bunch of dudes could come together and pull the tradesman Voltron and just build their own houses? Or they could just get like they just got a bunch of campers on the yard while they're working on it. And they're like, yeah, we've remodeled 4 houses this year. Pretty soon here, we'll just be paying cash for everything we're doing. And no loans anymore. We'll be our own bank. Tradesmen Voltron, which I refer to as the Mexican Voltron, but it should be the American Tradesmen Voltron. Just saying. By the way, it's Freedom Phil, like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, you know, all that, I don't know what you're doing, you know. And by the way, thanks for anybody that was in the chat here. Thank you. Y'all have a great day.